What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting tropical update here by Asian Weather Forecast. Later today, we're going to have a severe weather forecast, but I'm still worried about the potential for the risk for possibly tropical storm Faye are increasing on Invest 98L as it can possibly make landfall for portions of areas of the northeastern coast, which would actually be very rare at this time of the year. Also, monitoring Tropical Storm Cristina, which can become the first hurricane for both oceans so far in 2020. And not only that, this could very well possibly become a major hurricane. But before we get in the video, please check out the social media link in the below. That is the Discord in the description. Our nice Weather Expo Discord, all weather related. So be sure to check that out. We have an amazing community and all of that. Also some nice staff members. So be sure to check that out, Discord. Also be sure to smash that bell notification so you get notified as soon as my videos come out, so you get the most accurate information. Also smash the subscribe button so you show your awesome support here, and also be sure to subscribe so you can get all these forecasts for the next coming months as we are continuing to watch the tropics as far as December. And also be sure to smash that like button as well so I know you guys like these type of videos, so I continue to do them. But without further ado, let's get in this video. So here's the 5-day tropical weather outlook here for the National Hurricane Center. They have updated now this to a 20% chance for the next 48 hours and a 40% chance for the next 5 days. I do predict this becoming a 60, if not a high possibility for development by tomorrow for the next 5 days here. As it is, Investment 8L is crossing the Savannah River and will be coming out a lot earlier than expected. We did expect 98L to come out here for a portion of North Carolina like this, but now it's coming out a lot sooner, like I actually told Tony H. So this is going to really increase the probability for actually having Tropical Storm Faye here, and this could very well possibly make landfall whether on New Jersey, Long Island, or Massachusetts. As we now check out the Eastern Pacific here, now we got Tropical Storm Christina here. It's confirmed as of last night. You saw my video last night. Now 40 miles an hour, and minimal central pressure is now 1,005 millibars. So very favorable as this thing is really strengthening, have a lot more vorticity. Cloud cover is a lot better, a lot more inflow and outflow and convection, and it's continuing to move west-northwest at 13 miles an hour. So now that we checked that out in the Pacific, let's go ahead and check out now all the details on Cristina, and then we'll check out later after Cristina information on Invest 98L. Here's the IR brightness here for Tropical Storm Cristina. As you see, the system is still quite organized here compared to yesterday. Really starting to see that low pressure and really strengthening at this point. We are seeing a lot more dense cloud cover. It's very organized. Go and check out now the visible shortwave here. And as you see, this system is just looking quite organized. Yesterday was looking very, very organized. Let me tell you, I think last night looked a lot more organized, even though it still was a weaker tropical storm and basically borderline with tropical depression. But now this is looking a bit less organized, that this thing can actually load, which I wish it will, but oh my gosh, I don't know why the telemetry is not even loading. Let me just pause it to here so you guys can see what it looks like. This is basically what it looks like at this point as of now. As you see, it's obviously had these outer bands as far north as here, and here's the main system at this point right here. This is where the main low pressure system is, where we have those scattered thunderstorms at right here, and then we have these outer bands as far northeast as there. Let's go ahead and now see if it actually plays. There we go. It's going a little bit more, but you can definitely see that little amount of vorticity there. You can just see that vorticity, see that cloud cover, really dense. Quite a big system. As you see, it's coming back together. As you see, these clouds will actually come back once again together, and then it's going to come back. So this is, as you see, it is getting a lot more organized, though. We are having a lot more convection coming in right here. A lot of convection at this point. That's exactly why we are seeing kind of a really most likely kind of, you can possibly say disturbed eye or exposed eye. Really, we are starting to see kind of that see that this cloud cover is trying to expand at this point to close the low pressure system, and from there it will skyrocket and really become a lot stronger there. But this is where this main low pressure is right there, right here. But we are having the outer band as far as this area, outer bands right here, and it's going to continue to rotate, of course. Going to continue to rotate at this point right here. And it's going to bring some really nice vorticity. Let's go and check out now all the details, though, on Christina. So here is now the cone and timing. As you do see, here we have this becoming a hurricane by tomorrow evening. So we can have our first hurricane by tomorrow evening. And this is the next 1 to 3 days. So this, we can see still a hurricane by the next 3 days. And then even by Saturday, we can have a hurricane, possibly Cat 3. Most likely, we can maybe have a Cat 3 or Cat 2. As you see, we have the little small area of tropical storm force wind extents right there. That become a lot, that double size by later today there. But going to continue to be a very strong tropical storm. As you see, it's not going to affect Mexico, not going to affect the United States, not going to affect Hawaii. It's just going to be that, it's just really an interesting topic at this point because it is the first hurricane of this year, which is why we're kind of really talking about it. As we now look at the tracks, I'm going to actually move this a little bit. Let me see if I can move that. The tracks, here's the cone at this point. This is basically the cone. If you kind of look at this, this is where most models do show it actually moving at this point. This is kind of most likely the cone. As you see, models are really kind of agreeing on this, let me tell you. So it's not a big difference from there to there. It's not really a big difference. It doesn't really matter at this point, since it is kind of really not going to affect any land. It will matter if it did affect land there, but at this point it's not going to. So that's a track, and here is the intensity guidance. This is the big question. What will it be when it strengthens at this point at its full extent? What actually, here's the new update here. I just updated it right now. As you see, models are showing it getting possibly still at a Category 3 hurricane at most, but most of them do show getting to Category 2. So Category 2 is possibly for sure likely. Category 1 without a doubt. As you see, this is gonna skyrocket. This is really gonna strengthen extremely fast. Don't listen to the models that are showing this thing as a tropical storm. Don't listen to that. But wow, look at this. It's going to skyrocket to a Category 1. Could be Cat 1 by, of course, less than 36 hours here. And at most, less than 48 hours. So still, Wednesday could become a Category 2 as far early as 48 hours to as late as possibly 72 hours. And possibly Cat 3. We have two models showing Cat 3. So, obviously, I'm not going to rule out the Cat 3 as a possibility here. But with for sure, tropical storm, for sure Cat 1, for sure Cat 2, for sure Cat 2. But the question is, could we see Cat 3? That is the question, Cat 3. But really, this thing's going to really strengthen. They definitely got confidence in this thing strengthening very fast. Let me tell you, it's just like boom and then boom. So that's kind of the typical thing you kind of see. But sometimes in systems that they go like this and they go down and they go like that. That's not over dramatic. That's kind of what they do. But definitely a lot of confidence there in the intensity, and that could possibly become a major hurricane. Now let's go and check out the precipitation and the winds. So here's a precip. This is the next 24 hours, 1,000 millibars. So we'll definitely continue to strengthen there. And as you see, the next 48 hours, 990 millibars could very well be that Category 1 force winds. And then 72 hours, that's when it really strengthens in that one day to 963 millibars there. Really nice central pressure there. It's now the new update showing getting below 963, so it is showing a stronger potential compared to last night. 958 millibars by July 10th. Now into July 11th, 958 millibars. And then it kind of course, starts to weaken at that point. But still, by July 12th and 13th, it's still at a tropical storm force winds and maybe even Cat 1. So, could be a pretty long-lived storm. Let's go and check out now, actually, the now zoomed in here. Let me move this a little bit. A zoomed in radar here on this storm. This is the next 6 hours. We're now going to next 24 hours. There's at 1,000 millibars. Really seeing those strong winds because you can kind of tell those lines. The closer those lines are, the stronger the winds are. And as you see, now we get the next 48 hours. Actually, it's not loading that 48 hour. But let's see if we can actually get this to work here. See if they can actually finally load. There we go. So this next 42 hours, 989 millibars. Next 48 hours, possibly 985 millibars. Look how close those lines are. very close. That means very strong winds. We're having a lot of precipitation around this storm. It's not just the precipitation on the low pressure system, it's actually around this whole storm. We have precipitation. Exactly why with tropical storms and hurricanes, you can see widespread rain all over the place, no matter how close you are from that low pressure system. In 60 hours, July 9th, 971 millibars. Now, 72 hours, 962 millibars. Those lines are extremely close. That means obviously Cat 2, if not Cat 3, wins. 957 millibars. These lines get even closer at this point. Even closer. 959 millibars. Actually, this is actually where it could be the strongest out here on July 10th. And then that's July 10th. And then by July 11th, could be at strongest as well. And then it starts to weaken. You can also tell that as well by how the lines are not as close anymore. They are getting further and further away as you move on, because it is weakening. That obviously means the winds are dying off, and so is that low pressure system. Let's go ahead and check out the winds here. So this is now the next 30 hours. Could very well see this at 995 millibars, possibly reaching that really strong wind extent. Let me move this right here so you guys can see those numbers. Could possibly see maybe 40 knots, around 50 knots there. And then the next 48 hours, huge increase in the winds at this point. Very strong winds. Look at this, possibly reaching 65 knots, 70 knots by the next 48 hours there. And then as we get now 54 hours, we're seeing 92 knots. As we now continue to move on by July 10th, look at this monster storm. 113 knots. Look at that perfect eye wall right here. Actually, no. Eye wall right here. This is going to bring the strongest winds, heaviest rain, absolutely crazy. Seems the strongest storm, part of the storm will be the eastern eye wall. Look at this, now 117 knots at 957 millibars. By July 11th, so bringing up to 113 knots. By July 12th, it actually weakened to 96 knots, but it's slowly weakening. By July 13th, 83 knots. July 14th, 62 knots. Still bringing in those tropical storm. If not Cat 1 wins by July 14th. So this is a very slow storm that's going to not really finish there that long. It's not going to weaken, just boom. It's not going to just drop like that. No, not drop. It's actually going to slowly drop. Now let's go and check out Invest 98L. So here is Invest 98L. As you see, it is right here. Invest 98L is right here. You can see that's where the center of this low pressure is right here. That's going to bring in a lot of cloud cover for much of the southeast. And I'm actually not getting over 77 degrees right here in northern Georgia. That degree area, this is where my 77 is. That's exactly where I am. And as you see, I'm getting a lot of cloud cover at this point right here in this general area. I'm getting a lot of cloud cover. So really going to get some really heavy rain at this point. But not heavy rain, some lighter rain here in this general area of Lake Lanier. And that's going to bring in a lot of cloud cover for Tennessee. And I see the more the dense cloud cover is in South Carolina, as it is moving closer to South Carolina. And it's going to merge into South Carolina by the next coming minutes, if not coming hours. It is very close. It's like right over the Savannah River there. As you see, it's right over the Savannah River, right here. Right there is where it is right now. It actually could possibly be mostly in South Carolina right now. All it's got to do is this. That's all it's got to do. And then boom, could become tropical. This could become tropical if it does come out earlier. So all it's got to do is this. That's all it has to do now. That's all it has to do. So let me kind of make a little tropical thing like this. This is my tropical storm right here. Or we can become tropical right here, and it's going to advance to the north. So that is that. Now let's go and check out now everything else on details on the Invest 98L. Here's a model track guidance. As you see, it is going to be heading out mostly right here near Charleston, Myrtle Beach, and then it's going to be heading up the coast of Outer Banks and possibly make landfall in Cape Cod, the Cape Cod area of Massachusetts. It is no longer. Now let me actually refresh for the new update and see if this is actually 100% accurate. Let me wait for this new update. It's got to refresh really quickly. Yeah, so this is the new update. Yeah, this is the new update. So as of now, we're not going to be seeing landfall. We're not going to be seeing a landfall anymore for New Jersey or New York City. That's how fast it changes. So this is basically the cone right here. This is the cone for potential track of where this eye can go or the center of this low pressure will go right here. So really, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, possibly Long Island. You guys definitely want to be on the lookout because this could be very well tropical storm Faye. Speaking of that, those winds extending where how strong it can be. This is now the new intensity guidance here. This is the new model. As you see, models show tropical storm force winds as far as the next 48 hours, which is when it gets back in the ocean, or as far as the next 144 hours. So that's a huge range, but really a lot more models are showing getting to tropical storm force winds. So this is a good sign that we can be seeing the earliest letter F as well. So F, this could very well be a check. Faye could very well happen here. Now let's go check out the details on Invest 98L. So this is where the low pressure system is right now. Like I said, it's heading into South Carolina right now. And then the next 48 hours, if this actually can load, it is now going to be, next 48 hours, actually 42 hours, it's going to be in the ocean now. And now it's going to be heading directly to, it's actually going to be heading a lot more to the east. It's kind of like this. It's going to come out like this. It's going to go directly to the east. You know why? That's because that wind shear and that low jet and jet stream is going to push it to the east. But then that wind shear is going to wrap around like this, and it's going to it's going to push it and make it go closer to the coast. So this could actually very well make a landfall in the Outer Banks, actually. So as you see, it's at 1,009 millibars, strengthening, can make a landfall, and North Carolina comes back out, makes another landfall for the Outer Banks in South or North Carolina. Now it's all the way up here. This is where it is at 1,006 millibars. So this thing could very well be really strengthening. Here's New Jersey. Here's Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, and North Carolina. As you see, it's not too far off the coast, but it's going to bring in minor amounts of rain. Really, it's not going to be too shabby at this point. But look where this low pressure system is. Just off the coast of New Jersey. Just off the coast. So we still can't rule out the possibility for a landfall. Now it's strengthened to 1,004 millibars. This is now actually, I don't know exactly when this is. Let me see. This is actually on July 11th. So we got July 11th. We have, it's actually July 11th is actually my birthday. July 11th, we can have Tropical Storm Faye possibly making landfall in Massachusetts, if not Rhode Island or Long Island. And we have Cristina possibly reaching its strongest wind extent on July 11th. And look, makes landfall on Cape Cod, Massachusetts at 1,004 millibars. Right there. And then it possibly affects Maine and Nova Scotia. So that is the long life of that's the long life of basically what we're seeing with tropical invest in the AL. Let's go and check out the wind extent here. The 10-meter wind. As you see, it's not going to be too strong. We are going to be seeing it to 23 knots already next 48 hours. And as it does move up closer to the coast, it's going to bring it to possibly 34 knots. And then strengthen up to possibly getting close to that 35 knot mark, which is going to be including, that's actually tropical storm force winds. So this could very well be a borderline tropical storm there, but it's going to bring in some very strong winds. Let's go and check out now the higher in the atmosphere, very high in the atmosphere, to see how strong these winds will be very high in the atmosphere. As you see, it's going to possibly bring in 50 knots possibly in the higher atmosphere at this point when it's the next 8 hours on July 10th. And the thing actually loads here. I'm actually waiting for this to load. But yeah, this is going to bring in possibly some really nice winds really in the higher atmosphere. Let me tell you that. But it's going to be going kind of around there. And then it's going to bring it possibly up to 50 knots before kind of skiing New Jersey. And then it's going to bring in possibly 45 knots, 46 knots, and then it falls apart. Let's go and check out now. Also, lastly, we're going to check out the amount of precipitation on this storm and how much it's going to bring. Let me just move that, and you guys can see that. It is going to bring in quite an amount of precipitation at this point. It's going to bring in a lot of rain for a low-end tropical storm. It's not depression at this time. It can probably won't become tropical storm until like right here at this point, or right here. So this is going to possibly bring in possibly 2 to maybe 3 inches of rain for areas of the Carolinas. Maybe Outer Banks could be seeing 5 inches, but going to be seeing most of the rain off the Atlantic. Hope you guys did enjoy the video, though, and bye, guys.